So I did a thing I wanted to share. I had students do a lab, a sound lab, and each of the instruments they were looking at were all different. So they're all going to have different data sets from it. And I wanted a quick way to calculate whether or not, to know whether or not they got their periods, frequencies, wavelengths calculated correctly. And this would basically take me recalculating all of their things every time. So I figured, okay, there's got to be a better way to do this. So I made a spreadsheet that I could just copy as I open their labs and I go through in Google Classroom, copy their data, paste it right into here, and that's the students' work right there. And then I basically duplicated the format right down below. As we look at this, all of these just kind of reference back to the cell and the data that they got, and then these cells do the calculations as they should be. So they take the data that they got, divide them out, multiply them out, and they do the math, do the physics that it should be. So this gives me the values that it should be. And now I could visually go and okay, 400, 400, 405, 405, and I could do all of that at a glance, but I figured there's a better way. So I went and started playing with conditional formatting. So I found that you can go through, move my face, go through and find an is between. So I thought, okay, that might be useful. So is the value that it's supposed to be, is the value that they calculated between some kind of min-max of kind of where it should be. I tried the equal to, but if they rounded slightly differently, that could throw it off. So the between proved super handy. And you were able to plug a formula into this. So if I go to the cells that I already made, oops, all right, go here, conditional formatting. So I made these basically to say, okay, I need some kind of tolerance here. Let's say if I wanted a 3% tolerance. At first I said, okay, equals D5, which I can't just click and select it, which is slightly annoying. But I could say equals D5, which was their piece of data right here, 0.0025. If that is between like 97% of or 90 or 103% of, basically 3% tolerance of what it should be, which is what it should be is down here, then, well, it's good. That's what I want. So that's going to compare this cell to that cell. And even though I put D5 and there's no obvious way to like fill down or fill over, it does, which is nice. I just started in the cell that I started in over here, and it filled in for the rest of it. And just because I wanted maximum ability to change my mind, I took out the hard-coded tolerance here of 97%, 103%, and said, well, if I wanted a 3% tolerance, I just had it look back to G10, which is over here, and I can change that tolerance at will. If I realize 3% is not enough, it should be like 5 or should be like 1. I can change that and I can manipulate that. So that came in handy. And then now I had something to say whether or not it was correct. But I wanted something to say more obviously if it was incorrect, so I made one that it is not between, and kind of with the same conditions. That tells me if it's not between. The annoying part is if the data comes in with units in the cell, then that's text and not numbers. And I haven't found a great way other than me going through and taking out the text and then it'll look at it. So right now for there, I would love to find a way to do that. And if anyone knows how to quickly do that and kind of clean up that data, that'd be great. Otherwise, I have to better train my students to leave the units out of here and leave them in the table. So anyways, thought that was a fun use of conditional formatting. Hope that helps someone out there.